Hello, everyone, and welcome to another installment of our interview series known as Cove Club, the one show where we look at anything and everything for all creatives of all walks of life and get their insight upon all things in the industry. I am the Lion founder, and with me today is everyone's favorite ball of sunshine when it comes to VA Twitter, but also a prolific person in the industry himself. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Yoon.
Hello, hello. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's an honor for us to even have you, sir. And before we get started, why don't you give everyone a rundown of your entire journey thus far?
Oh my gosh. Do we have enough time for that? I don't. Okay, well, I was born in Korea back in that's too far. That's too far. Let's bring it back. For the longest time, ever since I first interfaced with theater arts in high school, as an immigrant from Korea, I didn't know what I wanted out of my own self, out of my future. I didn't know who I was really, and stepping into that theater to smell that musky wood smell of the stage and everything else, and learning about families and creative expression and acting and all these things that are involved, I absolutely fell in love with it. The aspect of theater and acting, the family, characterization, everything else about it. So I studied very hard in that realm and went to college intending to be a theater major, coming out of it to be an actor, director, whatever. Um, but a lot of the immigrant experience, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who feels this way. For anyone who has come to this country from somewhere else for a better life and for better future and for better outlook, I wanted more than anything else stability and stable things and happiness, all the stereotypical things like the white picket fence and the house in the suburbs, this whole thing. And working as an actor, I knew even then, even today to an extent, I knew that working as an actor wasn't quite exactly synonymous, if you will, with the word stable. Life and income and things of these nature. So with the help of my then girlfriend and currently wife now, and everybody else involved in some making some decisions about my life, I ended up in the teaching field, and I absolutely loved it. The education aspect, the future, directing, and I still get to be an actor on stage and in class, just in a slightly different context. And I really found joy and happiness through teaching, and I've done that for 11 years. So in 2016, when I lost that job, like everything crashed down to the ground into the darkest depths of my mind and everything else. This heavy responsibility and self-worth, and it was a really dark moment, you know. And looking back on it now, I've come to realize that significant decisions about making one's happiness or making the choice to be happy, perhaps, uh, isn't an easy decision to make until you don't have anything, until you're at the very bottom of the barrel when there is no more down to go down to. Um, and I've heard the whole cliche of "you sound great" through my throughout my whole life. So um, I decided to just try voice acting and voiceovers in general. And turns out I'm very grateful for this niche that I serve. Turns out that there just aren't that many Korean voice actors in the world. There are plenty in Korea for the Korean market, but in the international side, where they need localization, a video, a project, a character that needs to be localized into Korean for distribution around the world, there just simply aren't any, and I'm not exaggerating, any, very few, perhaps. And I've thankfully landed on that in that niche, and through my research and learn education and interfacing and communication, I've come to the realization that I serve that niche very well. which I attribute my success to, logistically speaking. At the same time, these past 4 years or so that's gone by have filled with nothing but happiness and joy and all things that are good that I had no idea that I was missing out on by taking the safe route, perhaps. I have no regrets about working as a teacher. I have no regrets about making that choice at that time in college to be a teacher rather than an actor. Because I know things and have skill sets and abilities that I wouldn't have had otherwise. So I'm very fortunate and very grateful to have gone through the experience that I have. But to end up back again on stage, perhaps only in the context and form of in front of a microphone, um, I am forever grateful that life has taken me to where I am today, and that I have developed enough self awareness thanks to my family and my friends and colleagues who have really worked to um, wake me up to an extent. Today, I get to work from home. I get to be in my family, my sons and my wife's and my family's lives more because I'm working from home, and I'm every day like pursuing my happiness, like sitting in here talking with you, recording things into the microphone and serving clients. I have when it comes to professional like working contexts, I have never been happier, and this is something I don't plan on letting go until the day I don't breathe anymore. How's that?
Sir, that was so beautiful that I almost started tearing up. Good Lord.
Oh my goodness. You're too kind.
I swear, people do not sugarcoat it when they say you're an inspiration because my Lord. Ooh, okay, gotta reel in the emotions so I can do this. So for all the listeners out there or people watching this on the YouTube side of stuff, you guys know how this goes. Where I will be asking our guests any sort of questions involving just the stuff with the industry, anything that would just be like surface level stuff, nothing that would be too personal. At the same time, at an unspecified point in time, I will then flip the tables to where the guests will have the honor to ask me whatever they want because I have the philosophy as a former journalist that everyone has questions and we all deserve to get answers. With that being said, I will now go to my tablet where one of my editors actually compiled a bunch of specialty lists for today. I don't know why they're special because they seem like everyday questions, but here we go. First question is going to be light and breezy. It might sound hard for a lot of people in the acting field. I've been there. But what would you say is the funniest role you've ever done and why?
Oh, wow. I think I think there's a difference between the funniest and the most fun. The funniest for me was Satan for for you know what? No. I take that back. Satan was a lot of fun. Um, I personally have this affinity for villains and evil creatures and antagonists. I maybe it's who I am. I don't know that quite yet, but I had a lot of fun playing Satan in Lovingly Evil by Lizard Hazard Games. Um, this this fantastic hunky uh Satan at a grill at the villain conference. The concept was so out there, so creative and imaginative and groundbreaking to an extent. That game is so much fun, and I had the best time playing the Satan character in recent recollection, I guess. something about knowing that I'm playing the Prince of Evil, the Lord of the Underground, uh, does something to my psyche. I think that was certainly one of the most fun roles to play. The funniest, however, was providing the voice for Kim Jong Un for the Red Button. It's this these series of shorts. You might recall this was a couple of years ago, maybe last year, I don't remember, where Kim Jong Un disappeared from the media landscape for a while. He just up and disappeared, and there were rumors going around like, he's dead? He's dead. He's gotta be dead for some reason, and there was a lot of media speculation. So this one filmmaker, his name is he's blanking on me. I apologize. He's on my website. Reached out to me to put this project together, this series of small videos where Kim Jong Un is not actually dead. He's on vacation, and he's at a spa in North Korea, an undisclosed location, and Trump and Merkel and Putin are like texting him on his Nokia. That's like vibrating on the table, and he's like, ugh, no, I'm on vacation. I'm not gonna take these calls right now. So he's in a spa, he's in a sauna, he's in a swimming pool indoors, and he's getting a spa treatment, and that's why he wasn't being seen in the media, and that was certainly the funniest project I ever worked on.
I'm just imagining on the other lines, like, why hasn't he returned my text messages? I sent him all of the best emojis.
I'll send you some links. Those videos are fantastic. Just really, really well done. It truly tells the story so well, and it's you have to see it. You really have to see it. It's amazing.
Oh my god. Oh lord. Well,
there's Nokia phones.
The phones that will survive a nuclear apocalypse with our cockroach overlords.
Just brilliant. Brilliantly designed, indeed.
Okay. I'm gonna now go to the next question before I just laugh some more from that whole entire concept. Second question is, something I kept asking for years upon years of being in the industry, from working with different companies and whatnot and working with other extras. But what would you say has always been that one dream role you've always wanted? Because certain people are like, I want to be the grandpa character for like a sweet Disney-like movie, or I want to be that one guardian angel for like a child in a Hallmark movie. And I'm like, Tim, why Hallmark? It's like, because I don't want a lot of money, but I want to get some money being an angel. And I'm like, Tim, why not just be, someone's actual guardian angel? And he's like, screw you and your logic. I want to be a kid's guardian angel in a Hallmark movie. And I'm like, all right, dang, cool.
Very specific. That's cool. I mean, in a way, in a certain context and under a certain thought, perhaps, that dream for me has already come true. Through the role of Yoon in Brawlhalla.
Ooh.
One of and this idea, and this, I call it a trend, but I think it's something more important than that. This idea of proper representation in the media of the people of color and various ethnicities, the black characters and actors. It's something that's really, really important and dear to me. Mm-hmm. Primarily because when I was growing up, definitely both in the Korean media as well as in the American media, where things would be localized to an extent in Korea, I was under this very distinct impression that, like, what we're supposed to see on TV were blue-eyed, blonde-haired people. all the movies that ever came to the U.S. To Korea, and all the heroes and protagonists, of course. And that's that whole thing. So when I came over, immigrated to the U.S., I came here with that idea in my mind, and watching TV, watching Family Matters for the very first time was a revelation to me. I absolutely fell in love with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because that told a very different story, very different than Wings or what is that show in San Francisco with the twins? The
Family Matt.
big
No,
house.
Full House.
Full House. That's the one. That's the one. Right. And there was a very clear idea of this representation that was existent back then, and like I had not ever witnessed people that looked like me and sounded like me. If I did see them and hear them, it was in a very caricature, comic relief, side joke, extra capacity, and I think I inherently put that in my subconscious as I went throughout my journey, and I had never paid attention to such things. But in retrospect, that's become very clear to me in the last couple of years about how what I was watching was giving me this impression of what media should look like. And I'm ultimately grateful and ultimately very, very happy about the way, the direction that the industry as a whole is moving to represent, to highlight, to celebrate these various people and cultures and colors and tastes and textures. And Jaeyoon is really the first Korean video game character that I had ever known. Street Fighter, Ryu's Japanese. I get that, sure. There's a lot of Japanese games out there, big Japanese companies, and video games and animation, sure. But Jaeyoon, in my recollection anyway, is certainly the first Korean character to appear in my awareness in the video game realm at the mainstream level. A studio and company as large as Ubisoft, introducing a 50th legend as a Korean warrior, a Korean legend named Jaeyoon with a backstory. And they had me say the words in both English and Korean, sometimes combined. And I don't assume to think that there are young Korean voice actors in Korea, around the world, who are playing this game as Jaeyoon, hearing my words in the trailer and my voiceover in the trailer, thinking, wow, like there's a Korean character in the mainstream landscape. That's a dream. To me, that's certainly a dream, and for me, that is certainly one of my dreams that's been actualized through that character. Not only as a Korean myself, as a culture, as a person, and as a voice actor, but like for something bigger. To have a Korean character in the mainstream landscape. It's one of many to come, I'm sure, but I'm blessed and I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to be in that mainstream, in that space, representing the country and the culture that I'm such a huge part of.
Oh man, I was not expecting such a deep and passionate answer there.
I feel strongly about it, certainly. So,
and
yeah.
I applaud you for it, because usually I ask the heavy question about the whole discussions opening up about people trying to get more diversity implemented for people of color that aren't Caucasians in voice acting, because it's a big topic for me since I'm not white. I've never hidden that from anyone from any photograph they've ever seen of at least my hands, because I never show my face on social media, that I'm not a white person. I feel very strongly when I hear someone just like, they open up this thing where they want someone that speaks fluent Iranian, but they just kind of sling by saying they hired like some guy that studied Iranian in college over someone that's actually from the Middle East that knows everything from that background and can bring more to the character. And I kind of feel insulted by that, because I want more people that have a different hue to get better representation, because that's what something that bothers my own soul, and I want people to have that to get better.
Indeed. And it's media is something that's meant to be consumed by a lot of people, whether it's a video game or animation, cartoon shows, movies, and TV shows, and commercials even. And I think I personally take the view where the representation of the global population to a degree, and representing as many, and representing and highlighting as many different folks as possible to truly represent this global community. I think it's a responsibility. I see it as a responsibility and a commitment that every industry should dedicate themselves to, and voice acting certainly shouldn't be an exception.
I agree. But for all the listeners that have heard me throughout all these other episodes, just like, Lion, you need to stop trying to make us feel guilty about this. It's fine. We've already knocked out that question. You guys don't have to feel guilty about me bringing up this topic because it bothers you so much. Oh, dear Lord. Moving on before I get super salty. Next question is something that my editor wanted me to ask more, because since so many people want to feel like voice actors or actors in general are just gods, I have to just kind of expose the curtain, just like, they're people too. Just stop trying to put them on an unrealistic pedestal. They're just people that get groceries just like you. What do you do when it's away from the creative space? Like, walk us through a day in the life of being Yoon, basically.
Well, my creative space is truly all day. Fortunately and unfortunately, it's truly all day. But for the moments when I'm not quote unquote working, if you will, my days are filled with spending time with my family, spending time with myself, because that's also very important. And I'm working on expanding the hours where I spend time laying in my bed with my eyes closed. I'm working on that. But there's only so many hours in a day. What do you want me to do? The morning routine is always 2 cups of coffee, making the kids breakfast, sitting down and warming up my mouth muscles and my voice, and eating with the kids. Watching one of them go off to preschool along with my wife, and setting up the other kid for online learning. And then once that's all settled away, it's work time. Take a shower and get changed, and answer my emails and do the marketing, and make some posts, and engage with the community, and lay out what I'm going to do today, and take a look at my schedule, course correct as necessary, and I go throughout the day as scheduled and as habituated, perhaps, recording things and connecting things and auditioning for things, certainly. And at the end of the day, it's I turn things off, put things away, and spend time with the kids and my wife, eating dinner, after dinner activities, get the kids ready for bed, and then it's back to me time. Me and my wife time. We'll hang out and chat. We'll watch some TV programs together. We need to sit down and watch the latest, the Grand Tour episode. We still haven't watched that together. We will later today, I think. After that, it's Genshin time, and then some 11:30 to midnight will come around, and then I'll feel sleepy and I'll go to bed, and the whole process repeats all over again. At my age and at this place in my life, like, that type of routine also satisfies my desire, perhaps, for stability and routine. Um, I certainly appreciate events and casting calls and sessions that interrupt that flow to an extent. For example, I have another speaking engagement with a group of Australians that's happening next week. But because of the time zone difference, I'm on at 11 p.m. instead of during the daytime. So there are things that are interruptive to my schedule. But while those are fun and enjoyable as well, and eclectic and throws a gear in my in the throws a wrench into the gears, I find them fun and eclectic and enjoyable to a day. It makes me happy. So it's a balance of regular everyday schedule of working as well as not working, as well as the spontaneous interruptive stuff that happens here and there, and I do my best to make both things happen. The habitual routine parts, as well as the eclectic interruptive parts, and I consider that actively maintaining a balance, and that's what it's like. I don't know if I've answered that question. I apologize.
Oh no, you did, because
Okay, good.
everyone's got a whole different thing that they like to do for the day. Like some people, like you, June, are very much like you enjoy what you do so much that it's incorporated into your life, and that's a beautiful thing. Other people, they're just like, it's a beautiful thing, but they also have like this other stuff that's more towards their taste than this other thing, and that's also beautiful. Everyone has like this whole big thing that I like to learn about, because I always want to keep in mind that so many people have so many different things they do day by day, but a lot of people want to see them for just the fame and the glory, and they're just like, oh my lord, they're gods. It's like, they're people too.
Yeah.
They
Just
all
people.
go to the bathroom, they all eat food, they all go to the bathroom to pee and whatnot, they sleep, they go to the pool, they roller skate if they have the balance to, I don't know.
I do the dishes in this house. I do the dishes. There you go.
It,
And the laundry.
we're all just people, we're not deities from another universe. I think. I don't know. Maybe Clippy is.
I'm normal. Yeah, Amanda's something else. She's very special, and she's amazingly special, and she's probably a goddess.
Yeah, she probably
that's my
is.
guess.
She probably is. I'm just like,
She's a goddess.
all of us normal people. Amanda, I don't know. You seem like you came from the stars, and we're just like, I am your goddess now. You will all do as I say.
She's a gift, no question about that. She's a gift. Mm-hmm.
But before we get into conspiracy theory time, June, let's move on to the next question. Let me see here on the tablet. If you could impose any advice to upcoming VAs, what would it be?
My standard answer, as you can imagine, that question comes up quite a bit. My standard answer about that one advice is happiness, and I keep coming back to this point because if there ever, for any aspiring or any voice actor or anyone in any field who's been doing this or at least attempting genuinely and sincerely for a certain period of time, I in my view, anything that's worth pursuing with all of one's heart requires happiness, and along with ample amount of self-awareness to fully realize and to fully confirm and understand that a certain direction a certain line of work or whatever it may be is indeed in alignment with his, her, their own happiness. Um, every now and then I'll come across folks who communicate to me things like, I'm not sure if I want to do this. I'm not sure if I'm motivated enough to do all this. I'm having doubts about my career, about my steps forward, and certainly that career path and that journey and that roadmap looks very different for everyone. Certainly, at the same time, I feel that there needs to be a stronger reason why we take these steps forward. And for me, I can only speak for myself because I am me and I don't know anybody else. But for me, this is happiness. Like, I would do this for free every day. I wouldn't now, but at the same time, if I wasn't a voice actor, if I wasn't an actor, if I was an IT person, if I was a lawyer, if I was a checkout person at a grocery store, and I was perfectly content with my job, I would still want to act every day, every moment of the day, and connect with people, teach folks and educate them with new information and make them better, engage with communities and make connections between people and services and products. This is what I love to do. This is this is my passion. It's such an overused cliche, but this path that I'm on, this newfound path, relatively speaking, that I'm on, is the one that genuinely brings happiness. In addition to my family, friends, and life that I lead with my wife and my kids here in this house, but the true sense of gratitude and the most sincere amount of happiness comes from my work. Second to my family, of course. And I will not let this go in any way. I'm gonna go as far as I can. I have a set of goals and milestones ahead of me that are in alignment with my happiness. And I know that I'm gonna make it. That I'm gonna succeed because this is my happiness and nothing else can stop me. So that's what I would say to any aspiring voice actor. Find happiness. It doesn't. There are millions and millions and millions of people in this world who are not voice actors that are living a very healthy and happy lives. It does not have to be voice acting. Whatever one's happiness is. I would advise for that voice actor to grow their self-awareness, to get a keen sense of what their happiness might be. And once they come to a realization about what their happiness is, go relentlessly after it, whatever it may be. That's my go-to answer. Maybe not exactly in those words, but in that direction, certainly.
And it's still a very powerful and very poignant answer to have. If you're not happy in the field that you're doing something, then why are you in that field?
Because you're going to burn out.
Yeah.
Because you're going to burn out. Because you're going to be forced to do it one day. And you're going to burn yourself out because it's something you don't want to do. It's happiness. It's not making you happy. It's a job. We don't want a job. We want a career.
Yeah.
We want a path. We want what we do. I want play. That's what I do. I play in this booth with this microphone. I play. And it's so much fun and it makes me happiness. Even the business end of it. I'm going through my 2020 taxes right now. It's a lot of fun. Not as fun as acting, but still.
Yeah. Ooh. That reminded me I had to do my own taxes soon. I was just like, oh wow. Still not as fun as the stuff I do, but still enjoyable from progress standards. But
why do I not believe that?
because the IRS is always watching me, and I'm just like, I'm doing what you ask. Stop knocking on my door.
I'm doing it, IRS Dad. I'm doing it. I hate you.
Anywho, while I have the existential dread of the IRS just washed down my back, let's get into
You're welcome.
the next question. This is a brand new one that my editor typed up. Thank you, Anonymous, you beautiful, beautiful lady that sometimes edits my other videos. So, June, this is going to be a brand new question that she's going to start asking with you as the first ever person. Are you ready?
Oh, okay. All right. Let's bring it. Give it to me. Let's go.
All right. And this is a very odd question, so hang on to your seats. If you were to, at the age of 90, in whatever villa or home or whatever place you wanted to reside in, and everyone is talking about the grandiose thing that you have done, what do you think you'd want to leave as your defining mark in history as a creative?
Well, at age 90, part of my goals, one of them, there are many, one of them is certainly to build a brick and mortar studio near me. So I'm in a city called Long Beach, just south of Los Angeles, and just north of Orange County. And here in the Southern California, LA, Orange County area, the LA is LA and the OC is the OC. And as a resident of Long Beach, there's also a City of Fame as well, Snoop Dogg and everything else.
Snoop Dogg!
Which, hot. Okay, so I really would like to build a brick and mortar studio from which I can work, from which I can teach, and from which I can work with other artists, in voiceover, in music, anything else. I would love to have that studio be accessible to a lot of people, local talent, whoever it may be. I want to offer volunteer opportunities. I want to offer jobs to engineers and studio hands and other people that we could always use more jobs. I would love that for that to be my legacy, whether it's a voice motor studio or whatever the name we might end up at. But I would love to have a brick and mortar building where dreams are made, as cliche and dumb as that sounds, where creativity is blossoming, where fun is had, where education happens, where communities are formed, where I can leave that mark, where the industry will know, like, oh yeah, you're not in LA, you're not in the OC, somewhere in between. Oh yeah, there's that studio by June, that guy. I would love to leave that legacy, physically as a building, and philosophically as an educator, as a director, as a producer, as an actor, as many other things. At age 90, I would love nothing more than that, certainly.
Huh. That's definitely a solid goal right there. As a train is going on behind me very rudely. Like, I'm just taking all that in, all of a sudden the train behind me wants to honk its horn. That's just so rude. Curse you, transit system. I'm just kidding, transit system. I love you. You're just very rude. Okay. Well, that brand new question aside, and we're going to probably be asking a lot more people that question, because that's going to be very neat to find out more answers for. So many dreams I want to hear, and so many different plans I want to just keep in mind for the future, because so many people have so many beautiful dreams, but I don't have all the time in the world to hear it. It makes me sad. Anyway, before I have an existential crisis, next question. What would you say are the top 3 inspirations for your voice acting?
Proper representation, money, and happiness. Not necessarily in that order. I mean, as I explained in the previous story, I heavily believe in representing my culture to as many people as possible. Whether that's small videos and pictures of what I eat, or my language, or the characters that I portray. I heavily believe in showing more Koreans on TV, in the radio, on podcasts, in video games. That'd be great. And myself, along with other Korean artists, are working towards that goal. I think collectively. Money would be great. Please give me money. Yes, I would love to pay my bills and go on a vacation one of these years. I don't know when that's gonna happen, but I would love to go one day. But happiness, again, there really is nothing more important than pursuing my happiness. And at my age and experience, I've really come to know and really have dialed in what those are. And there's nothing that can stop me. I'm going to keep going. Inspirational figures I could talk to, certainly. Rob Paulson is a huge inspiration to me. And any yourself included, as well as anybody who's watching and listening. Rob Paulson's new book. Please make sure to get the audiobook version. He himself narrated, and it's phenomenal. Phenomenal. His story is inspiration. There's never been hours that went by where I've gone through so many emotions, laughing and crying and chuckling and hysterically laughing to like angry, and what a roller coaster that book and his life. It's really something else. I encourage everybody. If you can't read it, if you can't listen to it, read it. But if you can, I highly recommend the audiobook version for that guy.
Sorry, I got distracted by my cat that split second. I was gonna say something. Now it's like, what are you doing, buddy? What's going on? Darn you adorable pets. Okay, so there's just a few questions left, but I feel like now is the proper time for me to do the whole skit of flipping the tables over. That way, the interviewee is the interviewer, and the interviewer is the interviewee. I don't know why I said it like that. It's very weird. I'm never gonna do it again. I promise. Maybe. Probably not. So.
What a rebel.
So, June, the floor is yours if you want to ask me anything. I'm literally a transparent open book.
All right. The first question I'm going to ask is, can I go to the bathroom?
Sure.
Give me. I'm a voice actor. We drink a lot of water and we have to pee a lot. All right. Give me 30 seconds.
Okay.
Whew. All right. The hydration exercise continues.
Woo!
The perks of being a voice actor. All right. My second question. Why a lion?
Finally someone has asked this question. So a lot of people, when they get to know me on a personal level, know how much of an influence my grandpa Cosmos Black was to me, as well as my Grandma Ileana Black were to me. Like, they raised me from ages 1 to 9 to where they taught me everything. They taught me English as well as Swahili and German and parts of Spanish. They allowed me to meet my cousins all over the world. And I've never felt more grateful to them than anything. And when they passed away, when I was 19, because all I heard was there was a break-in, they couldn't find out who did it. They found out eventually, but by then it was too late. And I was just like in a weird place mentally to where I'm just sitting down somewhere and then I'm just daydreaming off and on until finally I just see these two different lions in front of me. One that's black and made out of stars, and the other one that's made out of frost and snow. Both of which are always with me to where when I'm dreaming the following night, I hear them talking in their voices. To where I've always associated lions to be close to me since I was super, super young. Originally, people thought that bears were my spirit animal because when I was around 3 to 4, I would always be in the woods where Asuri brown bears would try and say I was their cub. They would try to raise me and feed me raw salmon. Terrible idea. But lions have always been a more spiritual side for me because they've always been present in my soul and my mind, but more so now that my grandparents have passed away.
Okay, yeah, that's a good answer. Certainly, I think we all have choices that we make in the images and words that represent us, who we are. Voice motto certainly is a phrase that come up willy-nilly. It came from a very specific source and inspiration, as well as the mask on my face, and I believe that, and I sincerely subscribe to the idea that what we say and what we do and what we show in the public realm are it should be anyway, representative of what we believe in the direction that we're traveling in. So yeah. All right, next question. What are some of your happinesses?
That's a no-brainer. Top of the list are my daughters, my eldest, my middle, and my youngest. Every single day, even if they don't message me back, I'm just like, I hope that if nothing else, even if I have like a pesky cold, I'm like, I hope that my kids are fine, that they're healthy, that they're doing just great, because they're the light of my whole life. My second happiness are my siblings. I couldn't do anything without them because they've inspired me to push forward more and more to do stuff that outside forces made me hate prior. Third are, of course, the arts I've made for myself, where acting, writing, directing, hip-hop choreography, cooking, all of that stuff has brought me so much joy to where I don't have to think about the dark realities that life tries to spew into my face or leave on my doorstep. I'm just focused on making something beautiful or enjoyable or entertaining or thought-provoking for other people by just sitting down to doodle or write or act it all out to make it more me, so I don't have to be all like, oh, I'm sad and depressed and I have no outlet to make myself feel better.
All right, very cool. Last question. And be honest. Don't lie. I don't want any lies in this one.
Okay.
Be absolutely cruelly honest. The last question is about toothpaste.
Oh my god.
Are you a middle squeezer or are you a bottom squeezer?
I used to be a middle, but after my roommate really pissed me off by just constantly doing the middle when I just want to get some toothpaste, I've learned to squeeze from the bottom for my toothpaste.
Okay, so you've seen the way. Good for
I
you.
have seen the way.
Good for you. Okay, I'm still in the middle squeezing phase, and I will not change, unfortunately. But good for you. You've seen the light. Go on and be merry, they say. Nice. There are two types of people. I'm telling you. There are middle squeezers and there's bottom squeezers. That's it.
He's not wrong, but as soon as you see that light, it'll change your life forever.
Over my dead body. rather until my wife makes me. That's the more realistic answer. Until my wife makes me. Yeah.
June, I swear to God, if you don't squeeze from the bottom this instant. Yes, ma'am.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. She's not here right now. Nope. It ain't her. I know. You can't fool me.
Lordy. Well, since that was the final question, I shall now flip the tables back over now. Although as soon as I flipped it over, it just kind of had a scent of success and of barbecue. Have no idea why.
For us both, man. I'll take that. Barbecue is always a good thing.
I don't know if you're planning on making like some spare ribs or having like a barbecue burger soon. I don't know, sir. All I know is I'm jealous.
Come on over then. Get on the plane.
I will get on the plane when I take the vaccine. This next question is something that my other editor, Nick, who, if you guys don't know, messages all of the guests to appear on this show. He doesn't edit these podcasts anymore because of the Amanda Hufford episode. He turned all the questions into making me seem like a simp, and I've been mad at him about that ever since.
and what's wrong with that? Come on now, it's Amanda. I'm a simp for Amanda. I'm a simp for Amanda. Who isn't a simp for Amanda? Come on
People
now.
that haven't been born yet. That's the only thing I can think of.
They just don't know. That's the they just don't know. It's okay. Kids.
Yeah. But this question comes from him because he's trying to squeeze in a few of the fun questions now, since I tend to get more serious in certain aspects, I guess. What would you say are your favorite video games to play, to just kind of not focus on plot or just focusing on anything in particular for nitpicks? Just you plug it in to turn your brain off and like, haha, I'm flying, or I'm swimming, or I'm chopping up these enemies to taste my blade.
Yeah, that game for me is Genshin Impact right now. Like I'm a huge nerd for role-playing games. Ever since I discovered Final Fantasy IV.
Oh,
3,
that's a good choice.
whichever one was with Rydia, the green-haired girl back in the day. Of the
I think
Final
that's
Fantasies.
4. It's been a minute.
I think that's 4, right? I'm not sure. Anyway, I absolutely fell in love with that game, and the story, and the characters, the development of the plot, the twists, the turns, and how it all ends. And when 7 came out, when Final Fantasy 7 came out, oh lord, like. I talk about this every now and then on various podcasts and interviews and on Twitter and stuff, but that game really shaped me into who I am today as a person, with morals and philosophies that weren't taught by my father, about what it means to be a friend, about love and loss and desire, about friendship and teamwork and loyalty, about the planet, evil, and how to deal with it, how to move forward with your conviction. My God, that game was a really life-defining, character-defining game for me. And I've been in love with story-based games all my life. So when you say, like, video games without a plot, I don't play them. I don't play them. Like, I understand, like, Master Hero, whatever it's called, with the green armor. You're going around shooting things, or phone Call of Duty, whatever it's called. I'm sure it's fine. Legends of Leagues, whatever they're called. I'm sure they're fun games, but I just don't play them. I prefer and love and enjoy story-based games with narratives and character and stuff like that. Uh, and then I got old. And then I got old and started branching out into different areas and different realms and possibilities. I had never played a gacha game before ever in my life. And I'm in control. I'm not a dolphin or a whale. I'm definitely in control of my finances. Don't worry about that. But I'm finding this game to be super interesting, and a lot of enjoyment and fun. The character building system and the artifacts and stuff like that. It's something that I have to focus on and to be very decisive about how to spend my resources and how to get them and things of this nature. But it's not so stressful as some of the other games, perhaps. And it's an escape enough away from everything else that it allows me to escape for whatever amount of time that I need to go away for. So, like, that's Genshin Impact for me right now. It's fantastic. I love it. I really, really do.
Honestly, I applaud that answer, because most times whenever I ask friends that when it's not for interview, they're just like, oh, I just play Jak and Daxter. It's like, Jak and Daxter has an interesting plot though. It's like, yeah, I don't care. I just kind of mostly play it to punch people. But there's a story and these elements need to stay. Yeah, I don't care. Shooting and punching people.
And I'm not gonna sit here and like discount their enjoyment and their happiness. Of course, I mean, you should do what you want to do, and do what's fun. Certainly, as long as it's not going around killing people or something like that. But
yeah,
like, they're gonna get their fun out of Dax. That's fine. You go.
Well, while I'm still just like, if it has a plot, why do you turn your brain off? Kind of argument I always have with friends. I will get my whole entire answer out of you, Billy.
Oh, names are being called. Oh boy.
I will get that answer, Billy. Anyway, I'm gonna say this is the next to last question, because I gotta make sure I keep to a time frame for the guest at hand, because if y'all don't know, June's a very busy man, and I don't like to keep people hostage. That's rude. It's very rude. Next to last question. What would you say if all of a sudden people knocked on your door and said, June, we want an album?
I would say, well, here's my iCloud photo album. Here's a link. Take a look. I am not. I mean, I love singing. I really, really do. And it's great escape. It's a fantastic hobby. And I enjoy doing it for my own selfish reasons and joy and happiness. But I don't ever plan on making anything and making money out of it or turning it into a career of any kind. I will say though, I do have an album out. As funny as that is, if you were to get on Spotify and search for Yoon, I'm there. I've written some original songs and did some covers, and like stupidly for fun and giggles, I made an album and put it up. So you can listen to me sing on Spotify, which is fine, but I don't have any plans to go music. I'm perfectly content where I am.
You heard it first, everyone. This man be spitting, as the kids be saying. Oh, God. This is probably why my kids are just like, Dad, please don't embarrass us like this. Okay, And now it's time for the final question. Anonymous, I know you poured your heart and soul into this, but I don't like keeping people hostage. I'll ask like the other questions at a later time. So this final question that is typed up on my tablet here is, if there was one singular thing that you'd say is your favorite moment from 2020. Like, I know 2020 for a lot of people is just that one year we all just want to take out back and then have a boxing match with, or treat it like it's the 10 dual commandments in Hamilton, and instead of pistols in the sky, you just shoot it repetitively. I don't know how other people want to describe 2020. All I know is everyone said it was rough with no good spots. But I want to prove that at least one good moment happened to everyone, which is why I ask, what would you say is like that one brilliant / good moment that happened to you in 2020?
The one really great thing that happened to me in 2020 is that I had lost my job again. Me explain that a little bit.
Come again, sir.
Yeah, please allow me to elaborate here. What are you talking about? So last year, collectively in 2019, last year in 2019, I was hired to work as a travel show host for a Korean travel show, airing stateside as well as Korea. If I'm not sure of the distribution, but I spent the entirety of 2019 and early 2018 traveling around the country with a film crew and showing different locations and activities and things to do when you're visiting this region, kind of a show. It was called Around and Across America, or Meet America. And that's what I primarily did in 2019. And I would come home from a traveling sprint and furiously work on VO, and then I would go out again. And we ended up shooting like 44 episodes or something like that through the season. The client really loved it. I was paid very handsomely for it, which is great. And the end client super loved it, and we were all on board to produce another season in 2020. And then the pandemic hit, and everything was canceled. Uh, so I had explicitly planned to be traveling around the country yet again for another season, and working on this TV show, and then everything just came to a stop. And because everything had come to a stop and I wasn't traveling and filming anymore, naturally I decided to put more time and energy and effort into VO. And as a direct result of spending more time and energy and effort into growing my VO business, it grew. It grew. And in 2020, thanks to me losing that job, if you will, I was able to sign with a LA agency in 2020, and I'm seeing more auditions and jobs and clients than ever. My earning potential has certainly climbed to a level that hadn't been realized before this year or last year, and I really, really have come to the realization that I am in fact on the right path for me, on a good path that makes me happy. Should the vaccine be readily available and spread throughout the country in an efficient manner, and we all as a country achieve herd immunity, and the fears about COVID-19 truly subsides, who knows if my show will come back or not. And if it does, that'd be great. I'd love to go out there again and travel and make shows and have other Koreans watch the country that I love. But if it doesn't happen, there are no guarantees in life. But if it doesn't happen, um, I'm also perfectly content with where I'd be, and I just continue to grow and soar from here. So tracking all of that back to 2020 in the beginning, I had learned of the cancellation or the suspension, perhaps. I never got the word that said the show has been canceled. It's always been put on hold, uh, and I got that news in January of 2020. So yeah, getting they everybody knew that pandemic was headed this way, so they had canceled everything, put everything on hold in preparation of that, and I'm grateful for that. Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad it was that answer. So I was just like, I'm hoping he elaborates to where I can understand, because I'm like,
Because otherwise, in an alternate timeline where COVID-19 wasn't a thing, I would have been traveling, probably right now. In fact, gearing up for the next season, the season after, making shows, filming, traveling as I have in 2019. But because I was able to focus more on my voiceover business, I attribute my current situation because of this, which is for the better, I think.
now I wonder what that timeline Jun Yoon would do if he met current timeline Jun Yoon. The stories you both would share.
Well, I certainly look better. I put on a few pounds because COVID eating and not exercise, not walking enough, not traveling and doing things. I was doing all kinds of stuff on the road. I certainly look better too. I was required to get a haircut every time, but now my COVID hair is ridiculous.
Oh God. I did not expect that. I was just like, maybe you guys would probably team up to conquer the industry world, or just like, yeah, 2 Junes, we got this.
Next is a hip hop album. It'll be dropping. I'm just saying. Just yeah, that's on the horizon. Just keep an eye out. That's all I'm saying.
June, I don't know why I've never gotten the chance to talk to you sooner, but I really hope we end up friends after this.
Well, let's call me a friend now. Let's make it official. Let me shake my hand. Shaking my hand.
Yeah. It's an awesome day. I made a new friend today, guys.
Yippee yay!
However, I know Anonymous is sad. I know you're sitting there editing this all sad. We couldn't ask all the questions, but if you guys want to hear some more questions from Jun Yoon, even though this is going to be dated by the time you guys hear all this, he's doing a live, or has done a live stream with a friend of mine named Matthew Archer, I believe. I believe you're doing an interview with Matt today. I don't know. I don't keep track of stuff anymore. What is today?
Yes, I am. I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Well, you tell him I said hi. God, I'm so bad at keeping up with everything. Like, someone's just like, I have a recital. I'm like, oh, let's see, what's today? And then it's just like, one person said they have an audition. This other person said they have a cooking thing. This other person said they have, like, a whole family meeting. This one person said that they're going to some spa. Now you're saying there's a recital. Who's doing what now? What day is this? Where are my shoes?
Sounds like somebody needs to pay their assistants a little more. I'm just saying, you know.
I probably do. While I sort all that stuff out, I really appreciated having this time to sit down with you, June, more than you know.
Well, thanks for having me. This was really pleasant, and I always look forward to connect with other people like this. So thank you for having me. It was great.
Anytime. And for all of you guys who want to hear more stuff from June, all the links for his stuff's in the description below on our YouTube stuff. But if you're hearing this on Spotify, you're kind of just out of luck because there's no links on Spotify for a bunch of stuff. I've tried numerous times. Nothing works. They're just like, here's your whole sound clip. There you go. So instead, just go to the YouTube channel, hear this and the other stuff. I've talked to a lot of interesting people, a lot of great people. They're all pretty interesting and cool. At least I think so. So just hear all that stuff. Check out their links. Support them. Maybe give them all a pie. You like pie, June?
I love pie. You kidding? I love pie.
Yeah, just send June some pie. He likes pie. Just click on his links.
Pie.
Just be like, I went to your website because Writers Cove Studios said so. Here's a pie, and then I'll be happy. Just give him a pie.
I love it so much. Please send me pie.
Just send the man some pie. And if you guys want to keep I am good at this. If you guys want to keep up to date with all of us at Writers Cove Studios are doing, we also have our socials and the link in our YouTube stuff. And if you guys want to catch up with us live, we do like 6-day-a-week streams and 1 VOD stream per week on our Twitch channel, also in the description below, where we're also just trying to build up more momentum because midway through the 2020s, we are once again trying to build up steam for a giant project and I'm going to say this live on June's episode, 2031, we are making our biggest production yet, where we're going to be needing animators, going to be needing extra editors, extra writers, over 200, I repeat now, over 200 VAs, 13 other directors, and Lord knows what else we're going to dive into. It's a huge endeavor. We're going to need a lot of different hands. So if we announce some stuff in 2025 about this, you know we're cooking up even more steam for what I have in development. It's going to be a giant ride.
Exciting. Big projects are always exciting. Good luck to you on that. That's fantastic. I can't wait to audition for it.
Thank you. I really look forward to it, even though everyone's just like, you're gonna get gray hairs, boss. It's like, joke's on you. I already started eating gray hairs years ago. I'm gonna look very pretty with my gray hair. Let me live my life, team. Anyway, though, I've been the Lion Founder, your kooky host for Cove Club, and with me has been the ever so adoring and everyone's favorite VO, Yoon.
What a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me. It was fun.
And I will see you guys, and June will see you guys in his own collective adventures later on. Take care, everyone.